You know magic eye puzzles? You ever remember these? Do you ever play with these things? I don't think there's a secret message inside this particular magic eye puzzle. I was kind of toying whether or not I would tell you that just so Michael Creed could stare at it for 20 minutes to try and figure out what was in there. I don't know why Michael, but I just, you know. But you know how like when you stare at that for a while, a message will pop out and all of a sudden you get it, right? Well, a hidden message that was hiding in plain sight happened for me. And it happened with a song, not a magic eye puzzle. So those of you that know me, like really know me, have probably gotten a phone call. Brad Hurd has gotten these calls before. When I'm having a moment and I need to think and calm down, I go for a walk. Put in the iPod, put in the AirPods, walk through the neighborhood. And I can't tell you how many times I'm walking down the street with my finely manicured 80s playlist. It's choice, by the way. If we become friends, I'll share it with you because it's really good. You know, but it's blaring, so I'm like, I don't hear the cars going by, weed whackers, small children. It's like they don't. I'm completely oblivion to everything. So I'm walking, and I'm enjoying my 80s playlist, and I was not having a great day. And a magic eye puzzle of a song came on. So if you're an 80s fan, you know the band The Police, right? Any Police fans, right? So 80s band, Sting is the front man. They did some really interesting and intricate stuff. And one of the songs hit me on that particular day. It was in July. And it hit me in a way that I really couldn't describe. And I didn't know what was happening. But something was happening, and it was happening to me over and over again. So I kept on playing the song because I get a little stubborn like that. When I find inspiration, I kind of lean into it to figure out what's going on here. So I started to feel something as I was listening to the song. I must have listened to it 5 or 6 times before it hit me. So I'm jamming, me and The Police. And the song, I'll play with you the lyric that got caught in my head and the reason why I kept on listening to it. So this is what I heard, and this is what stuck with me.
Just a castaway, an island lost at sea. Another lonely day, no one here but me. Oh, more loneliness any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair. Oh,
You know it, right?
I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle, yeah.
You know that song, right? Yeah. So, just music nerd. When I found the isolated lyrics, I got really excited because I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So God bless YouTube, everything's on YouTube. Anyway, so what is Sting singing about? Pretty obvious. He's feeling isolated and lonely and frustrated, and he's asking for someone to help. So I kept listening to this song over and over, but it was really like affecting me. It wasn't just, oh, that's a great song, let's jam. Like it was getting to me on that particular day. And the reason why I was out on that walk on that day is because of this room today. I was stressed and overwhelmed about the conference because it felt like every time that I would stand up and make noise about this thing and try to explain to someone what this room feels like and try and encourage them to attend, it wasn't working. And I couldn't get the traction that I needed for the conference. And I think you've all had that happen, right? You've launched a class, you've launched a book, an offer, a talk, anything, and you're just jumping up and down. You're doing everything you can. Social media, you're telling your friends, you're sending your email list, you're trying to get engagement, and it ain't happening. Well, it sometimes seems like, well, everybody else can get their messaging to work, right? You look at others and realize that they've got it figured out, and maybe you're just doing something wrong. Maybe the odds are stacked against you. Because, I mean, you've seen this before, right? LinkedIn lady, back me up on this. The average LinkedIn engagement rate, it's not great. So when you put something out on LinkedIn expecting for people to care, statistically they're not going to care, but we seem to forget that when we're in the moment. So then you think, okay, well maybe it's the algorithm. But then you start to slip. Oh, well maybe it's my follower account, and maybe it's because I don't spend any money on ads. And maybe it's because the offer is crap, or the conference isn't good this year, or maybe it's because I'm overpriced, or maybe it's because I'm underpriced. Maybe it's because I'm bald. Yeah. Probably not on the bald thing, right, Jim? Come on. Maybe it's because I'm just not good enough. We've all gotten there, right? That's where this train ends. So on this particular day, that's where this train was going. So you look to social media for engagement and connection. It's readily available. Everyone tells you to do it, but we know it's really difficult to make it work. And when it ain't working, it feels terrible. And as those messages fly and the posts go unanswered, you feel more and more isolated. It starts to get heavier and heavier, and it piles up on top of you. And then things get real because you check your bank account. And you look at your lead list. And then you wonder, okay, are things going to turn around? Do I have to tell my beautiful, lovely photographer wife, hey guys, guess what? Thanks for paying the mortgage, because I can't. Then you think, okay, well, maybe I need to get offline. Maybe I need to go do some networking. So you go back to where you do your networking with your lukewarm beer, and you have the what's his name again conversation with the realtor, and you realize that didn't work. You're driving home thinking, okay, that got me absolutely nowhere. Maybe nobody understands what I'm trying to do. Maybe I can't figure this out. Maybe I can't develop the connections. Maybe this isn't something that's going to work for me. Maybe I need a coach. Maybe I need a coach, and coaches are great. But we all know if you're in that place and go get a coach, the risk is pretty high, because what if it doesn't work? And it's not the coach's fault, it's actually your fault. Did you do the work? Shout out to the coaches in the room. But if you hire a coach and it don't work, that's not a good place to be either. And then you think maybe one more ad campaign. Maybe I can get my money back if I spend the ads. Maybe that's the thing that will finally get me over the hump. All of those thoughts happen. You've emailed your list. You've done the social media. You showed up at networking. It still didn't work. But now you're short of cash. You're short of energy. You're defeated. You're frustrated. And you're alone.
I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle, yeah.
Maybe your competitors in the marketplace have won. Maybe you are the outlier. Maybe this is your time to be the statistic that we all hear about. Maybe it's time to look for a job. It's over. But what if you're not the only one?
Walked out this morning, don't believe what I saw. 100 billion bottles washed up on the shore. Seems I'm not alone in being alone. 100 billion castaways looking for a home. I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle, yeah.
If that's ever been you, welcome home. Yeah, you're not alone at being alone. We've all felt that feeling, right? Did you feel that in the story? Because that's a true story, let me tell you. Those of you that know, this summer, no Gucci. Like, this summer was for real. We've all felt that way, right? Maybe some of you are feeling that way right now. It happens. But you are not alone at wanting to make a big impact in the world. We're all trying to do that. You are not alone at trying to build your small business dream. That's why we're all here. That's what we do. And when this connection, this is a true story. I listened to this song several times on one walk. When this connection hit me, I literally crouched down on 119th Street in Wauwatosa, where I live. And it was a moment. And I knew at that point, That's how I have to start the conference this year. I have to send that message. Yes, ding. It's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. It's a good thing I was getting reception that day. It was great. Yeah. So, we're so fortunate that we found one another. And we are so fortunate that we get the opportunity to get back here together again for our 4th annual conference. And the next 2 days exist to connect you and to guide you as you go through those isolated, frustrated, lonely patches on the way to your small business dream. That's why we're here. Because we know this is a dream. This is not a job. If we wanted a job, there's a lot of big buildings within walking distance right here that would be happy to hire all of you because you're smart, you're independent, you're hardworking, and you'd be a fine employee. I'm unemployable. Anybody else unemployable now that? Yeah, unemployable. Oh, you'd like me to be where, when? What, real pants? No. No, that's not a thing. Not anymore. But you don't want to do that. You want to build your own vision. You've got something that you're working on. And I think this is the part that gets me so much. It's not really the money. Me, like inside me, I've got something to prove to myself, right? This is more, there's a lot, as you can tell, there's a lot going on. So we know here that to get to where you're going, you need to lead this crazy, wild, unpredictable small business lifestyle that we are all on. And that is hope, passion, frustration, disappointment, joy, fun, laughter, creativity, learning, all of those things. And the challenge is, and you've heard me say this before, if your spouse is not in small business, they don't get it because they get a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? Your friends and family don't get it. They just see you working on the weekend. And sometimes you don't get it because you sometimes think you should be further along than you are right now. But you're right where you need to be right at this moment. And there's so much more to come. This group gets it. You found a group. You finally found your home with people that will walk with you. There was a joke going around last night at our pre-con conversation. Pam's like, this is a cult.
Yes.
Oh, there she is. Thank you. I knew if I said Pam, she'd make noise so I could find her. Yes, thank you, Pam. Yeah.
Drinking the blood, though.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And it's a joke. It's fun. But the reason why it feels that way sometimes because like people really care. And where do people really care about you and your dream and your mission? That is weird. And it's a good kind of weird. And it's what we do. And it does feel like nobody cares. It does feel like it's hard to build an offer, but we'll help you do that. And it does feel like you've got more to give and more to achieve, but we're ready to help you get there. But here's the thing, and I was joking with coaches before, and hopefully coaches, that was one for the good guys, that, hey, I'll tell you what to do, but sometimes you don't do the work. Coaches know what that's like. I'm walking you up to that line again today. Whether you've been in the community since its founding 50 represent. Yeah, love you, Founding 50. Or if this is your first time walking in and you're like, what the hell is going on here? You are now all at the same starting line for the next 2 days. And what that means is, if you go through this conference as a wallflower, sending out your messages in a bottle, hoping someone will come over and make an impact with you, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. That's just not how we do it here. The other thing is, you can wallflower, or this is even more dangerous, I think. Because we're all high achievers, we all have something we're trying to do, it's really easy to fall into the idea of, well, I don't need any help, but those people do. Oh, I'm the smartest person in the room. I won't lower myself to be vulnerable or ask for help. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Or else you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. You're going to get back to your office on Friday and realize, yeah, that conference was cool, but I didn't get anything out of it. I will tell you right now, with emphasis, that is a you problem. Okay? That is not an us problem. Because now, when we do our networking, at lunch, when you pick who you sit with, during the break between 4 and 6 today, you get the choice. Do I want to make myself vulnerable and meet new people and put myself out there? And we joked about Pam. As soon as she made that decision, she found her home. It changed everything. So I'm challenging you. You get to make that choice, because I'm going to set the table for you in the next 2 ways with speakers that are going to blow your little mind and people that are cooler than you can imagine, and it's going to make you feel like, oh my God, I found a cult. Okay. We're not, for the record. But, like, for real. But you do get to make that choice. So that's a challenge. Leave your ego at the door and get involved.